Okay, welcome to the Sports Coffee and the weekly sports chat, sponsored by our friends from InsureWise. All the insurance needs are all catered for by themselves. So today's guest is Zoe Maguire. She's a PE coordinator stroke teacher from Elveden Academy. So Zoe, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, really good. I appreciate you. You're obviously in school and giving you time up to have a chat with us about school sport. So, how did you get into? So we'll go strip it back. And how did you get into teaching?
Oh my goodness. Oh, years and years ago now. So when we were living in Essex, started off as teaching assistant when my children were young. Always been interested in sport, always played sport, football, netball, and it's always been part of my life. So taking on a bit of a sports coaching role at my children's school when they were younger. I did a lot of work with sort of the School Sports Partnership years ago, you know, when we had all the funding to go and do school sports partnership work, and was a qualified coach for the Essex region. So went round and did extracurricular activities and stuff, and then managed to get in my children's school as doing sports coaching and the teaching assistant role. Decided when they were older that I wanted to actually become a teacher, did my degree, and moved to Suffolk, got my teaching post, and this is where I am. So yeah, at the moment I'm based at Elveden, senior teacher, PE lead. It's a small school with 4 teachers. We've all got about 4 subject leads. My sort of areas are PE, mental health, wellbeing, RSHE, and forest schools. So they're sort of the areas that I'm sort of in charge of.
Quite a nice link into physical activity across all of
which
them.
was the main sort of my interest really. I've been really lucky that I've been able to be in a position to use my strengths definitely within teaching and within the school setting.
Okay, so obviously with your sports background and being a teacher, because in the past I've been in contact with a lot of PE coordinators, and it sometimes is the last coordinator's role that's been given out because there's no teacher that's actually that interested in PE, and it's like, oh, the newly qualified teacher will be given the PE coordinator's role because it's quite sporty. But obviously, luckily, yourself are passionate about sport, as you say. You've been a qualified teacher. You've done your TA. Role, and now you're a teacher, but you've got that passion of sport and physical activity. So how do you think the children at Elveden benefit from having somebody so passionate about sport in their school?
I think the thing is at Elveden, we've managed to grow this sort of like innate sort of love for being active. And I think that's not just come from me. Obviously, I'm sort of driving it, but lots of our staff and all our children are really keen on keeping active and doing stuff. We always have lots of sort of new initiatives that we use for sports. You know, we end up we've been doing workouts for Fitness Week. We've been doing stuff for wellbeing, yoga and stuff. So we're quite keen as a whole. I mean, you know, Neil, you've been to the school, you know the sort of vibe that we've got here. And I think that's quite actually, you know, people see that. It's quite visible to see that, you know, within our lessons, within our daily school life, we are physically active. It's really hard at the moment. Personally, I'm really struggling with not being able to be as active as I am within my teaching role, you know, and I know our kids are also feeling the same. I don't think I've ever sat on my bottom as much as I have done teaching this way, you know, teaching remotely and having my key workers in.
So how many key workers are in the school at the moment?
Yeah, not many, maybe about a third. It's really, you know, not many at all. Probably slightly more than last lockdown.
Because the rules have changed slightly, haven't they? The rules have changed slightly, so more people can sort of access the key workers.
Yeah, key workers and the vulnerable children as well. Yeah. But you know, genuinely, it does seem the whole thing is very, very different this time round. And obviously, we've just got to make sure that we don't lose that love for keeping active. Sure, and I think that's really important at Elveden, that we all know that, you know, in these sort of times things aren't as accessible, but we've just got to make sure that what we do is still of decent quality. So I mean, we've been doing some really good stuff with remote sports and fitness stuff remotely, and that's gone down really, really well at home.
What sort of partners have you been working with through the lockdown?
Yeah, you know, we've got lots of partners. You know, I know lots of people, and I love keeping those community links. And I think it's really important for our kids to get a good variety of different sports opportunities. You know, we have football, we've had boogie bounce, which has been great. The first lockdown we had the boogie bounce guys come in, and then one of my main concerns was when the children did first come back, you know, as a sort of PE lead, I noticed the fitness level wasn't there when they were doing the daily miles, and we noticed their PE lessons, you know, during the warm-ups and that they were struggling, and some of the children had actually put on weight, you could tell. So for us, it was important to make sure that we were offering a good variety. So for us, that boogie bounce, that whole sort of new, getting you ready to learn, you know, the bouncing, and that they loved that. The kids loved it. And we ended up even running a staff after school slot for one of our wellbeing sessions as well. So that worked really well. PE, as in football, we've had, you know, with football coaches, we've kept really good links with Ipswich. You know, we've got a really good partnership with those guys. And we've been doing some online Zooms with them, so that's been really good. So we've been keeping that going. And one of our dance teachers that we've got through the Heath School Partnership, Tandy, who's one of my personal friends, we have her, and she does some quite hard dance and sort of circuit training sessions. The kids have loved them. One of the children said to me yesterday, "Miss, we're going to have some more of those when we come back." And I was like, yeah, doing their burpees, doing their, you know, and their mindful sort of cool downs and that at the end. They've been really, really good. So I think we are sort of trying to keep that side of it going, because it's so tricky with the children not being here. Actually,
so does that integrate into their PE lessons? So those activities that you've said, or are these are they added on to? These
are within our, so remotely we're obviously teaching our 2 sessions of PE a week. So that will be either one will be with a Zoom, and then one will be through our scheme that we use. We've just brought into the Cambridge scheme, the complete PE scheme. We used to use the Cambridge scheme of work, but we felt like we wanted something that was a bit more sort of hands-on and in the moment. So to be able to sort of, for the children to talk about their progress and to show their skills in the lesson, we've used this new package, Complete PE, and it's been really, really good to use for remote learning as well. They're linked with the Youth School Trust, you know, the Sports Trust. Yeah, so they're really good. So we're trying to keep it up going as much as we can, Neil. You know what it's like. It's it's tricky, isn't it? Because when schools close.
So you say obviously with the local sports partnership, Forest Heath, which is brilliant, that they're still active for you, especially at these in these difficult times. What kind of virtual challenges have you done with the Forest Heath?
We've done loads. They've been uploading a new one each week. So the kids in school have been doing them. And we've got like a private Facebook page where they can upload their videos of them doing their virtual challenges. So they've been doing that as well. But we've done the wall sit, we've done the squats, we've done the sock challenge, the skipping challenge. I don't know if you see my Twitter appearance on my skipping challenge. Did you see?
I did. It was very impressive. Very
good,
impressive,
wasn't it?
No, it was.
248 skips in 2 minutes. That's not bad.
It is very good. You're saying you're sitting around a lot, but obviously you built yourself up for the skipping challenge.
Yeah, trying to. Yeah.
So, you mentioned Ipswich Town. So Ipswich Town have been doing a football session for you. Have they done any other activities for you?
Yeah, well, they've been doing a dance and sort of workout session for our children. That's been really good with one of their coaches, Laura, and the children have really loved that. And what we've done it from literally from the grassroots, so everyone gets it. So it's been an hour session each week. Early years right up to year 6 have had opportunities to those, and they will carry on next term as well. And we've also been doing some of the Bluey stuff. They do, you know, their mascot Bluey. Yeah, Mike, the guy that I'm partners with over there, he's been sort of putting on some Bluey Zooms, and the kids have been taking part in some of those. I think the thing that's been good is that there has been so much out there.
Yeah.
And as you say, when you've got sort of those good connections, it's quite nice to be able to dip in and out and have a bit. So we've had a few sort of challenges from Forest Heath and a few things from Ipswich Town. And obviously there's massive amount of stuff online as well, isn't there?
Yeah, no, definitely. And obviously, it's people's livelihoods as well. So they've had to make them good
Yeah,
quality for people to actually
to
be
keep it
interested
going.
in getting involved, even if they're not making money out of it. They're doing it where they're keeping people
Definitely.
involved and keeping numbers up. So when they do, then they obviously hope that they're going to have the following that they've got during the lockdown. It's interesting you're saying about the Daily Mile. It's obviously a project that has been running for a while, and you're as a school, you're still using that initiative.
Yeah, I mean, we sort of just, it's just part of our school day now. So they just do it. I mean, they just go out and do it. Yeah, it's the Daily Mile. We haven't got a track or anything. You know what our school's like. You've been to our school, a small sort of rural school. Luckily, we've got our MUGA now, which we will talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
Our lovely MUGA. But actual space for being able to run, we've just made like a little circuit, and we do that. And yeah, I mean, the kids are out. They do it. It's their extra 15 minutes that they do every day, as well as all their other stuff. And it's working really well. And if the teacher forgets, the children soon remind them.
Sure. So who
Look, we need to go out. We need to do a Daily Mile.
in the original initiative, who brought that to the school? So was it a national thing that you did, or was it through, say, the sports partnership at Forest Heath?
Well, we did it because we were looking at we did the Active Lives survey last year before, and we were looking at our sort of provision in schools and whether we are actually meeting those targets of like the hour, and the 2 hours of PE and stuff. So we made sure that sort of from that we had it every day, and it was part of our sort of everyday school environment. Yeah, and the kids, and it's been great. And as I say, it's just extra. Any little bit helps, isn't it?
No, definitely, and I think it's great that you've kept the initiative, and obviously the kids, it's just embedded into your, like you say, your daily routine,
Yeah, and
which is
also like the
brilliant.
school ethos of keeping fit, and being active. They're aware of it, and I think initially we were like, oh, we're all going to do it at this time when we started. I mean, it's two years ago now, but then now it's just in part of the teaching. So if the teacher just wants to go, right, we're going to do it now. I mean, I particularly like it with mine sort of mid-afternoon, first thing in the morning after the maths, or mid-afternoon once they're getting on a little bit of a low and we need to go and run and stuff.
Yeah,
We've
get
been
their
really into
energy
cross
levels back
country
up.
here as well. The cross country running, because we did the virtual cross country challenge with the Forest Heath Partnership, and that's sort of become, with the older ones, they sort of wanted a bit more, so it has become a bit more of like a cross country run rather than just running around the playground.
Right. Okay. No, it's great. It's a great initiative, and I'm hoping that other schools. Are you aware of other schools locally that do the Daily Mile as part of their, or is it something that you've?
Yeah, no, there's a lot. Definitely, our partner school, Forest Academy, I know they definitely do it as well, and they're in the process of trying to sort out some more areas for them to do it. They've just had a track built. So yeah, I know there's definitely a few schools that definitely do it within the partnership.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you touched on that your mental health and well-being is part of one of your roles at the school and your many hats that you wear. Did you do a little bit about, because obviously it was Children's Mental Health Week, which obviously was quite apt for obviously the times we're in at the moment. Did you do anything different or experiment anything during that week?
We had our Express Yourself Day, which was really cool. So we got the children at home we decided that Friday is our like non-screen day. So there's no screens. We don't do anything to do with that. And it is, outdoor learning or art or baking, that sort of thing, whatever they want to do. Last Friday, I think I spent our time up the woods with a metal detector.
Oh, really?
Because we've just bought a metal detector for the kids for Forest School, and I think they wanted to go out and see if they could find any Roman coins. So I think we did a bit of that last Friday.
That's brilliant. No, but it's empowering the children to do something that they realistically, I don't think I would have done anything like that when I was at school. And I'm sure probably yourself. It's giving them different skills, but also, like you say, forest skills is the forest school skill set is brilliant. It gives them. I guess it links into sort of back in the day, your brownies, your cubs, and your beavers, kind of those kind of initiatives that you would do out in the community into like a school environment where you're looking to do that. So I think that's a really good initiative as well. We've already touched on, I was going to say about physical activities, but you've already touched on the fact that, your children are being able to access, remotely, or if they're in school, to do their activities. The active, I did see on Twitter that you were, or I think it was Twitter, you were encouraging your parents to do the active schools survey. What project? What's that all about?
Yeah, that was to do with Abby Leisurecroft, the Active Lives survey. Yeah, so that is, as I say, to get an initial idea of what sort of provision and sports that the children are doing, either at home within the community and at school, and then they sort of amalgamate all the data and then see if they can help us with providing it.
We've lost Zoe for a second. Let's hope that Zoe comes back. But as you can tell, Zoe is a very passionate, very determined teacher, but has a passion and for the well-being of the children, totally at heart. So the Elveden children, have got a really good role model as part of their daily school life, which is amazing. It's not a big school, but it's a very good and well catered for school, especially for the sports and well-being of the school. We've lost Zoe for the minute. I'm hoping that we can get Zoe back on, because I'm finding it very useful and interesting for what she does on a weekly basis. What we're talking about today is just one role that she does, and this isn't even really linking into her teaching role, where she's teaching the national curriculum. So I've got utmost respect for Zoe and her colleagues to be adding extra roles really to her daily or school lives, but for the benefit of the children that attend the school. So brilliant. It's really good to see that they're working on national initiatives with the Daily Mile. They're engaging with Ipswich Town Community, who obviously are providing school sessions normally, and then obviously doing remote sessions at the moment. The Active Forest Sports Partnership, School Sports Partnership, which are obviously doing the virtual challenges like the cross country, the skipping challenge, the wall challenge, and other activities as well. So I'm not sure. Zoe hasn't been able. Oh, I think we've got Zoe back now. So let me get her back, and hopefully we can reconnect with Zoe. She's looking to join on. So fingers crossed. She did mention that the internet might not be the best over at Elveden, because it's obviously a very rural area, and it's got lots of trees and grass, which is again really good for the forest schools. So I think we've just.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry. I've just gone over. I've just done a bit of a summary of what we've done so far. So I've just done a summary of what we were talking about. So that's fine. Not a problem.
Cool.
I'd already said that potentially the internet might be a bit slow, so it's fine. So let's go to obviously COVID. That the word that has hit us for the last nearly 11 months, nearly 12 months. What are the biggest challenges for you as a teacher, not necessarily sport, but just as a teacher, with the COVID restrictions on a daily basis?
I think the workload, the way that it's increased our workload, has been crazy. I had a meeting with somebody the other day, and then we were talking about our well-being and trying to sort of calculate the amount of hours that we are doing. And I would say, hand on heart, 60 hours a week, at least, as well as it is that thing of like the mental side of it is always there, because there is always so much to do.
Yeah,
I think looking from another aspect now.
Yeah, and I think the fact that you're teaching, you're saying you haven't got a massive amount of key workers in, but you're teaching face to face, but then you're also having to engage and keep the students that are at home motivated to do their learning as well. So
and I mean,
it's doubling your workload, and if you read everything that's in the papers, the schools are closed. So from my point of view, hands up, hands up, hats off to you. Really, is the fact that you guys are carrying on, for the sake of the future of the children, which is brilliant. But obviously, it makes it very difficult for yourselves because, like I say, you don't have a lot of downtime to be able just to relax yourselves, and then it's the next day. So luckily, next week, half term.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait.
I bet you've been looking for that. Looking forward to that.
I will be doing. Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing is that I was saying earlier, it's changed how I am as a teacher, which has been really detrimental to me personally. I feel that, and my kids, because I feel bad for my children, that I can't teach in the way that I would normally teach.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously trying to be as engaged and trying to make my lessons as engaged as I can, remotely. But for myself personally, I've really struggled with the mental health side of knowing that, this isn't what I normally do, and being able to carry on when it is still exhausting. I think not having time for yourself, I'm looking forward to being able to do a few workouts next week and spend a bit of time on myself, because even like the stuff that we do at school for staff, we do a lot of, like we used to do our Joe Wicks, and we did yoga. We're running occasionally. Me and the year 5-6 teacher have been trying to sort of run occasionally, but it's just
a bit of headspace really, isn't it? For yourselves, so you can just work out what you're doing next. And if you're constantly working and planning and just every day is the same as such, it must be very difficult. So total respect for every teacher in the country, to be honest, that's been going through it. Do you have, I was just thinking, do you have support from sort of the local authority or the county for teachers, not necessarily children, for like you mentioned and touched on, the well-being of teachers? Do you have any support that comes through?
Yeah, we have really good support offer to do at both schools, to do with the school services, and also we have I'm the mental health first aider at Elveden. We have a mental first aider at our partner school as well, and that's been really, really helpful to us to be able to be given those links and different support systems. We've got we've had webinars, we've had some CPD for different stuff, and it's all sort of, we've been lucky that we've had that support there. But as you say, ultimately, I think the thing that is keeping us going is that at the end of the day, we just want the best for the children.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, that's, we know why we're doing it. We know we've got to do it. Okay, it's not the best situation. And, teaching has never been like this. And I do know that, it will put some teachers off, and some teachers that have been in the profession for a long time have never found it so hard. So I think...
touching on that, Zoe, do you think there'll be, once this is all over, do you think people will quit the profession? Or not join in, because obviously there's a shortage of teachers anyway. We'll put them off totally to actually come into the profession.
Well, I think over the years as well, the workload obviously has got more, and there's lots more sort of hurdles to jump and stuff. And I think generally we are losing teachers. And you look, I think, I can't remember what the statistics were, but a couple of years back, I think it was something like 1 in 5 don't actually, or 1 in 3 don't make 5 years teaching, something like that. So I mean, it's really
very high.
It is having an impact. It's a shame, because it's one of those things that it is a vocation, and you do inspire children and you do make a difference. Bit scary when you see them out and they're grown up and they still remember you. My son,
that must be a good thing, though. That must be a good thing, because if they remember you, I remember some teachers, I can't even remember, I remember that I was in a certain class, but I won't necessarily remember their name, let alone what they look like. So, you know, for me, that must, you know, you might say, oh God, you make me feel old, but it's also from the children's point of view, you've actually made, you know, an impact into their school life.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I think that's amazing that people do remember you, you know, years down the line.
Yeah.
So we touched on the COVID. The national governing bodies, have they been? I've seen a few national governing bodies. So like Suffolk Cricket, have they been in contact with you to do online stuff?
No.
The FA or anything like that? No.
No,
I've seen a lot of Chance to Shine. I don't know if you do Chance to Shine previously.
Yeah, Chance to Shine. We've had, we were in the process of trying to sort some stuff out with them last year, but that didn't really materialise. There may be some opportunity to get some of that through our School Sports Partnership. Yeah. As we come back, that will be sort of the next thing we're looking at. But we're also quite keen to use like community coaches as well, people that are local to us. So we've got some parents that are cricket coaches over at Milden Hall, at Wellington and stuff. So, we sort of try to use more of those community-based links as well.
So different,
especially at this sort of time when, definitely. I think it's a great way to encourage it and to keep it going within the community, to be able to have. And we are fortunate that we have a fitness instructor, we have a football coach, we have a cricket coach, we have a yoga teacher. We've got people that we can utilise within the school.
No, that's really good. So touching on, you mentioned football there. I know that Ipswich, obviously with the Ipswich Town, partnership, there's a girls' football initiative. Is that something that you guys are linking into? Because I know you. Big on your girls' sport and.
Yeah, and we've got one of our girls actually does play. She's doing some development for them at the moment. But we have definitely tried to do that, and we've sort of been promoting the This Girl Can challenges on Twitter and stuff as well. So we're definitely keen to sort of do that side of it as well. I think the thing that's been tricky, as I say, for us has been the fact that all our sort of sporting and competitive fixtures have had to stop.
Yeah.
So that we've really struggled with that. We haven't been able to compete, and normally autumn term we would have done our we would win all the local sort of cluster leagues, the intra leagues, and doing all those sort of activities, and that's been really sad, especially when the fact that I've got year 6 kids here that are going to be leaving me in July, and they've had no opportunity to take part in any intra competitions.
Not represent their school
in their final year. It's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when they're probably going to go to a big high school and they might not get the opportunity to represent a sport in going forward. If they're not the top of the tree. I think it's hard.
We've been lucky with the fact that obviously now we've got the MUGA bill, that our sports provision has improved because of that, because we are now able to actually use that facility. So, I feel sad the fact that those children can't even use that at the moment. It's tricky, isn't it?
So touching on that, Zoe, tell us about that project, because obviously that's a project that you've again been head of. How did that come about, and how did that get funded, and now who uses that facility now?
Yeah, it's been going for years. It's literally made me grey. We've had put in so many applications to try and get this MUGA bill. We looked at lottery funding in the beginning. We looked at to do with Sports England to try and get some support and stuff with it. We realised that even though our PE provision is good at our school, we need to be able to teach our children the tactical side of sport, and not being able to have a space on a playground when you can have those markings for netball, you can have those markings for football and basketball, was really impacting what they could leave us with. They go into year 7 and they need to know so much sport wise. There's so many opportunities, isn't there? Yeah. So I think for us, we knew that we needed something where we could do those skills. So we really pushed for it. Eventually we got planning permission. The size of it changed a million times and where they wanted to put it. But now, as I say, we have a really decent size MUGA with a good flooring, with floodlights and everything, that we can use for school sports and community stuff as well. And as I say, we are booked out. Obviously, COVID at the moment, everything's had to go on to hold, but we've had lots of local, some vet groups, football groups, you know, we've had veteran groups join, and we've also got some young youth groups as well that are using the facility now. So yeah, it's been really, really good. It's been great. It's just, this has all happened at such a rubbish time, you know, COVID, it's just impacted everything. And, you know, going from having people over there doing sort of two sessions at least a night, and now it's just like no one there at all, until hopefully we can soon and get everyone back on and over there enjoying their sports again, because obviously those community things have stopped and kids are missing out on those as well.
Yeah. So what sports you mentioned sort of veterans, so walking football, is it, I guess?
Well, we have some local men's football teams. So we've got Brandon, we've got Whamel Wasps using it, we've got Lake and Heath, we've got a few people using it, and a lot of the Brandon youth football clubs have been using it as well with their youth teams. So we've had quite a bit of interest in it. I think there was a guy over at Red Lodge that has messaged to see if he could say, yeah, well, there seems to be quite a bit of interest in it. And also we were looking at trying to do some back to netball there at some point, to try and encourage that, like the walking netball, maybe some of the back to netball that I may sort of run or alongside other.
So you'd be working with England Netball to get those initiatives going.
Trying to get that sorted as well at some point over there for the summer, hopefully.
Yeah. So how, if somebody wanted to book it locally, how do they go about booking the MUGA?
Well, they get in touch with me at the school. So Mrs. Maguire at the Elveden Academy, you can either call or you can use the inquiry line, inquiries at Elveden Academy. Okay. And I can let you know of our slots that are available and what the facility's like.
Yeah, so
I don't know if you've seen it. Have you been over there, Neil, and had a look?
I have actually.
Yeah.
I drove past. I think it must have been the first lockdown, and I thought, we're driving past Elveden. I've got to go and have a look because you'd mentioned it, and I know
it's
how
great,
much work.
it?
Yeah, how much work you put into it. So I sort of did a loop around the school, saw it, and then obviously went past behind the Elveden Inn. It looked amazing, and you know, like you say, I'm glad that there's a lot of usage, or there was a lot of usage, and there will be, no doubt, be a lot of usage once, the pandemic's away and everybody can go back to, work, doing as much activity as they were before. Yeah. So I'm going to wrap it up now because appreciate your time.
An opening.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
so
there's plans to do an opening. So if you're up for that at some point, we're going to do, when we can eventually get everyone together, we're going to do an actual opening of the MUGA and get Ipswich down, and you guys down, if you want to come and spend a day down there with us, it'd be great.
No, that'd be great. No, I'd love to be involved. That'd be brilliant. So again, Zoe, really appreciate your time. I know that you're in the middle of obviously the last day before half term, which obviously is good, but obviously there'll be lots of things that you need to be doing. So great to have you on. Really appreciate your honesty and the passion comes through as you speak about your role.
Thank you.
So this episode will be going out on our YouTube channel. I'll let you know,
Yep.
and then obviously you can let people know and link in. It'll be on Twitter. We'll put it on Twitter as well, so we'll link in your partners, so Ipswich Town and others, so that they can see that
that'd be great.
You've been promoting themselves as well and everything.
Yeah,
so
and
it's all about it's all about partnerships at the end of the day to try and link in everything. So that's been it. That's been the end of the Sports Coffee today. Again, thanks to Zoe for spending some good quality time talking about the school sports in this current climate. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you again soon.